Happy Halloween, everybody! Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween! We get to talk about the Satan for Halloween.
Indeed.
There it is. We brought
Satan.
we brought the only Satanist I know, and for this episode.
Wait, what? What?
You've been Barabi this entire time, and you didn't even know.
No, that ain't true.
I absolutely lie. No, it's a lie. I don't love the Nephandi. I don't love these guys at all.
They are.
I tried getting the Lilia, but I couldn't do it. I can't stand behind these guys.
No, these are like the Hassan Piker, but worse faction.
Oh yeah, we covered around the same time last year the Bali, and the Bali I was fully on board with. I played a Bali before, and playing a Bali was really fun. I want to do it again in another vampire game. We just have to find a storyteller that has the stones to let somebody play as a Bali, and that's hard. I mean,
hey, you can make whatever character you want with me, so long as it's like game legal.
Game legal, the game legal satanic vampire.
Yeah,
absolutely. And now we have the step up from the Bali, which is the Nephandi. If we were to go another step beyond that, that'll be just the Ravagers from Demon of Fallen. Last point, we can't get more evil than this. Well, we can, but
for mortals.
Yeah. This is the second. This is the second level of evil, right beneath the first.
This is bottom of the barrel depravity here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, absolutely. In terms of factions with no redeemable qualities, this is up there. You can make nice Bali. You can make nice Black Spell Dancers. You can't do that with the Nephandi.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. This isn't like your D&D party where you have a guy who's a Path of the Fiend warlock that works with the party. First of all, you're not really supposed to let your other players know that you are a warlock from the get-go. That's not something that you share out in the open. And it's not like you have a great old one warlock or an archfey warlock or anything like that. This is just straight up, no, your powers are evil. You radiate evil off of you. And there's no reason why anyone would work with you unless they had that same aura. To the point where...
Best not hope there's a paladin in that party, because the cat will not be staying in that bag.
They're only able to seduce a few people into working with them, and that's it. And you really have to work that mind sphere in order to get that to work. So here we are today.
I'm pretty sure they have a lot of fun with the mind sphere.
Absolutely. There's a first edition and second edition are what I'm using for the most part for this book, and then Storyteller has a copy of W20. No, it's M20 in front of him for this episode.
I have the Book of the Fallen and the revised Book of Madness.
So I'm looking at first edition, then we're going to look at second edition together, and then he's looking at M20. Not really in that order, but this is where we're pulling most of this information from. Because after all, I'm the guy who absolutely swears by first edition. There was a vision here with World Darkness, and then it got tossed out with the staff change halfway through the 90s. And it still bothers him. It still bothers me. All right.
I mostly just go with the background stuff and make my own setting. Why go off of someone else's story when I can just make my own?
And I mean, that's one thing about doing with the DC by Night game is just going ahead and only using half the lore characters and just making up the rest of them on my own.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a lot of anti-tribute to make for that game. All right, that's it. That's enough for the Ghost Rider. Okay, thank you for leaving me off where I last closed the book software. All right, so the Nephandi don't have their own book, do they? It's the Book of Madness where you find the information about these guys. We will not be going over the Marauders for this episode. That's going to be something else. It's going to be a different episode. Is there enough content to talk about the Marauders on their own? Yes. Yes.
The Marauders are fun evil. The Nephandi are like, I need several months of therapy before I can even look at these people again.
All right, let's crack open this beer. I need to drink my sorrows away when we do this episode.
Yes, you will be an alcoholic by the time this starts or by the time this ends.
All right, we get into the history of the Nephandi. When did these guys get their start? The beginning. No, even before humans existed, the Nephandi existed in their own words. How exactly does that work? Well, you want to go off of the Big Bang Theory if you're a technocrat. You want to go off of Let There Be Light if you're a traditionalist. Well, before both those events happened, there was just straight up darkness, wasn't there? It was just,
as much as I know,
it was just empty space where Satan himself in the Mark Twain claymation movie says, you are but a thought in empty space, and everything around you is just an illusion that your own mind created. And you know this to be true.
Except the worm. He's just always been here.
He's always just been there. And given that a third Nephandi directly venerate the worm, that's part of where it comes from.
Yeah, the Malfians. But we'll get to them later.
In the Nephandi's own words, they say that the Dream Speakers, who I think we can come to consensus that they were probably the first traditionalists. It's either them or the Verbena who are the first. But they say that the Dream Speakers, and I guess by extension the Verbena, got the ideas of their traditions from the Nephandi. It was the Nephandi who started off using magic. They were the ones that directly spoke to spirits and learned how to cast spells first. It's just that some mages, specifically the Dream Speakers and Verbena, just didn't have the stones to do what they had to do for power, which is what led to the traditions forming. The Nephandi swear that they're the first ones, and given how some of the other mythos goes in vampire and werewolf, I don't want to say the Nephandi are right, but it's hard to discredit them in this regard.
Let's say they're top 3.
Because we remember when you looked through the werewolf book, they said the reason why the changing breeds needed to exist was because the worm was directly talking to humanity. And that's the reason why the changing breeds needed to exist. Or when it came to Adam and Eve, that it was the devil himself that spoke to Adam to eat the tree of knowledge. And then that passed on down to Cain, who got the ideas from the same tree that the enemy, the adversary, whoever you want to refer to him as, the snake, planted, who then got the idea to go and kill Abel. That's all it started.
By that logic, it kind of sounds like they're claiming that Cain was the first Nephandi.
It could be. If you're one of those guys that's a mage supremacist and you hate the lore of Vampire the Masquerade, you can just say that Cain's a Nephandi, and that the existence of vampires is just a very, very, very long spell that he cast that the Tenacracy just doesn't seem to know how to stamp out. Yeah. You can say that.
That would make sense, but this is the world of darkness, not Mage and the fabulous night folk.
And the Nephandi say, in first edition at the very least, it's saying history. What do you mean history? Just look around. It's the quote from TF2. As long as there are 2 people on the planet, someone is going to want someone dead. As long as there are 2 people around, there's always going to be conflict. So Nephandi just say, pick a period in human history where there was a conflict. They had a part in it. Just the idea and the concept of evil is their history. Human history, by this point. They say, in the heart of every man that you're born in sin, and from sin that you'll return. And the only thing that separates us and them is that we've come to acknowledge and admit that we are sinful by nature, and we embrace it. And that's what gives them their power. The Nephandi directly get their idea from evil itself. You see that you have the power to be a bad person. You can do bad things to other people. You can hurt people. You can be angry, ambitious, avaricious, lustful, despairing, and you can just fully dive into that. You can just give yourself away to it. Before he had that Jubilee debate that completely destroyed his credibility, I don't know if you watched Jordan Peterson's Genesis series and his Exodus series, where if you ever want to check out the Exodus series, don't. Dennis Prager ruins the whole thing. Dennis Prager invited himself, I swear, and he just talks about random bullshit. Every time he opens his mouth, it's just, Dennis, what the fuck are you talking about? For that entire
I don't really listen to PragerU at all, honestly. I kind of did, like, way back in my college days, was like, this is actually some kind of interesting stuff. But after, like, 4 or 5 videos, I was like, you guys lost me.
And then you ultimately realize it's just Dennis Prager trying to push for legislation. That's the reason why it exists.
Yeah. Don't listen to their legislation. Listen to my legislation. I'm the one who knows what I'm talking about. Me and like 12 other people.
My propaganda. I'm the one who knows what's going on here.
You're being brainwashed. Here, let me wash your brain for you.
Let me reprogram you. There was a period about paganism that Jordan Peterson was going on about, saying that we live in a monotheistic society, but we can become polytheistic without knowing it. And his whole explanation to it is, what if we venerate the idea or the spirit or anger itself or lust itself, where you have these vices within you that we all, of course, feel. That's just it's not politically incorrect to say that we don't feel that. This stuff just comes across every human mind,
Of
and
course it is. It's only human. It's giving into that sensation is the problem.
you have the willpower and the self-control to resist the call of it. You can turn away from this kind of stuff. You don't need to be a rageaholic. You don't need to be greedy. You don't need to be lustful. You don't need to be avaricious and gluttonous. But you can surrender yourself to those powers. And eventually that becomes what you venerate instead. I mean, after all, this is where addiction comes from. Whether it be substance, whether it not be alcohol, pornography, or if you have a specific behavior that you can't stop doing. Where if you're one of those guys who, even though I am a Kiwi farmer, I will admit to it, there are some guys on the site that I know take it way too fucking far. And this is why the site has the reputation that it has. Where you just...
There's a lot of websites that have reputations because of specific people, let's be honest.
You let your sadism or your lust for revenge or your hatred take control over you. And then you just fully submit to that idea. And that's what's going on with the Nephandi here. Where you've just... You're not in control. The Nephandi think that they're in control, that they're their own people. Really what you've done is that you've surrendered your own agency to a being that you have selected to control you. You're not your own man. You're a slave to your own desires. It's what you own owns you in regards to the Nephandi.
If you've seen, well, of course, I'm pretty sure you've seen the second episode of Norfolk Wizard Game where the wizard dude said they have seen the darkest aspects of mankind and knelt before it and have called it God. Mm-hmm. For all you Warhammer fans out there, this is starting to sound a little like Slaanesh now, isn't it?
The feast on the delights of this world.
Yes.
I mean, if I was captured by the word bearers and I had to pick one of the four, I probably would go for Slaanesh.
Fuck that noise. I just rather shoot myself before
I know lead is poisonous, but lead would still be sweeter compared to what Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch would have to offer me.
I would rather go for Tzeentch, in all honesty. I'd at least get magic powers instead of what the autistic rage baiting that Khorne gives, the Asmongold level stench that Nurgle will give me, and every single STD that comes with Slaanesh. Yeah, sure, I'll have tentacles, but I'll be able to cast some magic fire.
Well, when you make a pact with Tzeentch, Tzeentch doesn't even give you what you asked for. It's, hey, you reached out to me. Do you want your life to change? Okay, it changed. Not the way you want it to. It's just the way I want it to.
Tzeentch, you just made my dick fall off.
Why is it always birds with Tzeentch? Why is it always just fucking birds?
Birds are cool.
Well, segueing from the quote-unquote history of the Nephandi history doesn't really pick up until the 20th century.
Yeah. Basically, their entire history is, you know all that atrocious shit that happens throughout history? We did that. We did that. Look at it. Let's put it on the fridge.
You have two categories of recruitment when it comes to the Nephandi. The Widderslaint and the Barabi. The Widderslaint are people that are just born disgusting. That there was no hope for you. You were just going to be a bad, fucked up person no matter what came your way.
You just drew the worst hand possible.
It's just in your nature to be a bad person. It doesn't matter how much anyone tried to help you, how many drugs you're on, how much therapy you were given, how loving, supportive your family or friends were. This was just the path that you were going to go down, and you knew it. And you didn't even try to pull yourself off of it. In Mage terms,
this is basically like they're born with a turned up avatar.
Yes.
An avatar that is just so heinously broken and vile and disgusting. And you just have to be the unfortunate bastard that got saddled with it.
And in regards to the Widderslaint, these guys eventually have a psychotic break where you committed your first murder or you did your first satanic ritual and you actually got a call back from the entity you were trying to contact. That's what causes your awakening. And then you just go down that road. You were going to go down that road no matter what. It was just a matter of when instead of if in regards to the Widderslaint. There was no avoiding it. And once you're on that path, you will never step off it. This is just who you are. Do people leave the Nephandi at all?
No.
No. Once you're in the Nephandi, you're stuck there. You don't have...
You're basically... I imagine that there's a couple people that go, I can stop whenever I want. I'm still in control. This power doesn't control me, while the dark power is literally controlling them like Pinocchio.
It's just like those rock star drug addicts that claimed that Skinwalker as Hunter S. Thompson, and they say, I can quit whenever I want. Okay, well, quit then. You're not going to do it. With as much as you drink, with as many pills as you take, you know you can't quit. You know that you've gotten yourself addicted to it. You can't quit alcohol. You can't quit pills like that.
Even if you want to quit, your body is probably so dependent on this stuff that the moment you stop, it'll probably kill you as if you just kept going.
So which is why I gotta say, with the Winter Slaint, is it necessarily that case too, or is that an excuse to Nephandi give? That you were just going to go down this kind of road no matter what?
I mean, it's quite literally, they didn't have any choice in this. They were fucked from day one.
Because I feel like there's a deterministic argument you can make here about whether or not that's true about what the Nephandi are saying in that regard. That did you always have a choice? Or are you a determinist that says that you had complete control over your life, that you could have gone on and I think determinist is the other way around. How much autonomy did you actually have over yourself? Because if you believe that there is no destiny, that you control your life, you just willingly went down this path. Or if there's destiny, then what kind of being put you down on that path to begin with? And which is why a lot of Nephandi actually do believe in God above. I looked into this before we started doing this episode about why would people join and become Satanists? Why would that be a thing? Why would you actively worship this evil idea? And I got an answer I wasn't looking for most of the videos, where Satanism today, it's mostly just you're being an edgy rebel who's standing up against monotheistic doctrine. That you hate the church for what it did 500 years ago, and you're still holding this grudge for the people that you will never meet and you will never know the history of, and that you will never be affected in, and you just want to rebel for the sake of rebelling. And that's ultimately what Satanism is in a modern sense. But in regards to active devil worship, most people who go down that path, that worship an actively malevolent entity, are usually people that were scorned by the church at some point in their lives, or whatever major religion was in control of wherever they lived at the time. This is why a lot of people become atheistic and stay atheists, is because they do not trust the idea of religion, because the religion burned them in some way by a bad religious person, is what led you down that path.
True, and that but honestly, I think I would rather trust an atheist over a Satanist any day.
And usually when it comes to... I usually find that the non-believers tend to know more than the fanatics when it comes to religions. Where an atheistic person who doesn't like Christianity is actually more well-read on Christian doctrine than the fanatical Christian. In irony,
usually it's
in some cases,
to try and refute those religious doctrine. But I can probably see outsiders looking in, trying to get to the bottom of this, where the fanatical are just so deep in the sauce that they will not accept anything contradicting their beliefs.
Which is what separates the true theologist from the wheat from the chaff in that regard.
Indeed.
And in regards to the Winter Slaint, with this deterministic idea, they're not really scorned by the church. They knew that a God exists, and if there was a God up above that allows the evil in the world to continue, they came to the conclusion that God has to be evil. That existence was made just to service the idea of evil itself. You were put on this world to suffer or to induce suffering in other people. And so you're submitting yourself to that higher power that you think is evil in order to better service that evil being and expect favor in return from it. That's the idea that the Nephandi have in returns to God. Because if a Celestial Chorister approached them and started talking about God, the Nephandi would know what they were talking about, and the Nephandi would agree that, yes, there is a God above that exists, but they don't believe that it takes the form that the Celestial Chorister says it does. The whole bounce back between the two.
From what I recall from the Celestial Chorister episode, I think the Celestial Choristers were, like, in most of the right when it comes to their view on consensus. Because there's actual demons that you can go talk to, and they will verify everything you say.
It's because the Celestial Choristers are so close to being right about the world of darkness as a whole, but it's just their refusal to go down the spirit sphere that prevents that. There's
You don't go down the spirit sphere? What?
they have the spirit sphere, but they don't go down the same way the dream seekers do, because they don't contact the dream seekers and relay information about the worm, the weaver, and the wild, and then try to compromise that into the belief of the one, is what I'm referring to.
But that's probably the best way you can contact these people. There's literal excerpts in the Order of Hermes book where an apprentice is being scolded by his master because the apprentice summoned an actual fucking angel.
Yeah.
You can literally contact God's middlemen.
And that's what I mean, that the Celestial Chorus has now gotten this whole pompous attitude that we're the ones that know what we're talking about. That when you're that sure that you're right about something, you close yourself off to every other argument. And that's the weakness behind the Celestial Chorus. And along with that, when they were in power back in the Middle Ages, they abused that power to no end and helped form the Cabal of Pure Thought and the Technocracy as a whole.
Yes, I'm sure the Order of Hermes does not know exactly what that's like and could not have helped them.
It
just came out of nowhere.
The mistakes of those two, the Celestial Choristers and the Order of Hermes, the mistakes they made while they were in power and had the chance to make life better for everybody, is what caused the eventual loss of the Ascension War in regards to the Traditionalists.
They quite literally held the ball in their hands, and they didn't just drop it, it fucking exploded in their hands.
In regards to other Traditionalists, when they eventually have a paradigm shift where they become evil, that's known as a Barabi in that regard.
Yeah.
You were awakened already, you had a paradigm in mind, and you either had a moment of crisis or a Nephandi convinced you to shift your paradigm into aligning with the Nephandi's idea of evil. That's what happens to you. Vormos isn't a Barabi, though. He's still a Euthantos. He's just an evil Euthantos. He's more like a magical murder mage that just kills people for his own ego and amusement. Now, if he was doing this to sell those souls to a demon or to the evil god, then he would be a Barabi in that regard.
Honestly, if he's a Euthanatos, he'd probably start drinking those souls himself. Why sell it when you can just take it for yourself?
I mean, that's what all the faces underneath his cloak are, after all. Those are all the people's lives that he has stolen and is using to extend his own power.
Dude probably looks like Freddy Krueger down there. It's horrifying.
In regards to the Barabi, say, for example, it's Celestial Chorister is, of course, the easiest one, where you convince a Celestial Chorister that God is evil, and then they have a partial break in their paradigm and become Nephandi. Or if you convince a Dream Speaker to align with the worm, then they become a Barabi. Or convince the Verbena that the three Gosses are evil, or the Akashic Brotherhood that this entire cycle that they're going through of reincarnation is just to perpetuate suffering, and therefore they should reincarnate to intentionally cause suffering.
Or the Sons of Ether, who think they should probably do what the Iteration X is doing, but go even further beyond.
Or if you contact a virtual adept and tell him to erase Bartmock's Max.
Oh, yes. Go all cyberpunk and destroy the internet. That won't have any lasting consequences.
Just go ahead and release all these viruses into everyone's computers, just for the hell of it.
It'll be funny.
You're going to crash the entire world's economy in doing so.
Oh, yeah. That's just the fucking iceberg of what will happen.
Or say you could do it with a Technocrat, too, where a Barabi isn't necessarily just a Traditionalist. You can also do a Technocrat as well, where with Iteration X, you can convince him that he can build his own Antichrist, and probably should do that. I think there is a sub-faction of them called the Iron Hands. Something along those lines. With a name taken straight out of 40K.
Yes.
Or you have cases like the Progenitors, where they're like the guy from Brazil that got the plastic surgery to turn himself into Satan. And he got the surgery to turn himself into Satan, where he dyed his eyes black, he gave himself prosthetic horns, he cut the ring fingers off both of his hands for some fucking reason.
That's pussy shit.
Yeah.
If progenitors went into Nephandi, they would become eldritch abominations.
You came into contact with Cthulhu, and then you got a sample of his DNA, and you injected it into yourself.
And suddenly everyone in that department is looking like deep ones.
That'll be a fun workplace to go to.
Oh, yeah. Mage's the Ascension, Deep Home Edition.
It's now I'm imagining that episode of Billy and Mandy, the phone call of Cthulhu, where you go to the call center and it's all these different guys who are eldritch abominations.
Yeah, I remember those clips of that show has been popping up in my YouTube feed for some reason.
It's become retro now. It's a fucking dumb idea getting a prank call from an eldritch demon. And in regards to the history of the Nephandi, once again, like nothing really happens until the 20th century. The terrible 20th century, where they got inspiration from Karl Marx. No, that's not actually what happened. How much shit happened between 1900 and 1944?
Ooh, we'd probably need 2 separate Galliard group episodes to cover it all, to be honest.
Just
but
everything involving that specific part of the Ascension War.
Oh, the Ascension War specifically? I thought you meant history as a whole.
Well, it just in regards to that, you start off with these different ideas of imperialism that were all shattered after World War One ended, which the Nephandi take full credit for, that they were probably the ones that killed Franz Ferdinand and started off World War One and got everyone involved in this big mosh pit issue that should have just been a small war in Europe. It became this global phenomenon that toppled over every empire. The United Kingdom went from being the world's strongest and richest country to being a fucking shithole, which it is today.
Psst. Hey, kid, do you want globalism? No? Well, too bad.
Now, I don't see why anyone chooses to live in the United Kingdom anymore, dude.
The place is not even a free country right now. That place is a full-on dictatorship.
Oh my god, I would...
Haha, you live in America, your country shit, like... I'm not taking that from a fucking Brit.
If you live in the United Kingdom, please get a work visa for America.
Run. Get the fuck out.
And after World War One ended, they started planting different ideas into people's heads, where they were probably the ones that came over to the NWO and told them about the brilliant idea of anti-Semitism, and that was the Jays that caused the fall of Europe, which eventually led to one man with a toy shop and mustache.
Anti-Semitism's been around for a while.
And it was popularized by the Nephandi.
Oh, that one probably, yeah. They are God's chosen, and if you want to spike God, well, get his favorite people.
If you had a whole subsection of Nephandi who were Jewish, specifically...
Jesus Christ.
Do you subscribe to the idea of the infiltrated technocracy?
I have seen the idea around, and I think it's a pretty interesting idea. It would certainly explain a lot of their modern ideas.
Because I was playing Werewolf yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? In this chronicle, we just got in a fight with a witch who summoned a giant skeleton spirit that was killing our Wendigo by just standing next to it. And I'm thinking, you know what? Usually I hate the technocracy, but then I think without the technocracy, that would just be outside my house, and I'd have to deal with that every day.
Yeah.
So.
And you were playing a werewolf. Imagine how much it would suck as a regular person. The hunters ain't gonna save you.
Usually in Canada, when you're going out to work in the morning, saying that there's a moose next to your car is a very valid reason to call it for work that day. But instead, the thing you're calling out for work for is this giant blue skeleton that will suck out your life force with one hand, one finger.
Pretty much.
So
I don't really care for the technocracy, considering that they're a bunch of uppity assholes that want to tell everyone how they need to live. But then I remember things like the Haunters exist, the Nephandi, the Malfians, and all the Bane spirits and Fomori and fucking Pentex, and think, you know, maybe you're an evil we can live with, technocracy.
The Black Furies who want to drag you back to their cairns and suck the semen out of you and then murder you and sacrifice you to Pegasus.
Yeah.
That's
and then there's the changelings who want to steal your soul and creativity.
But the fun process of Rhapsody, you gotta try it once.
Now imagine the people who have pretty much a solid grip on consensus as Nephandi. How much damage do you think that would cause?
Where they're infiltrated.
Jerry?
Because I get why some people stand beside the democracy. I get why some people say that they're better than the traditionalists, and it would be better if the democracy had their way with the world. But there's so much shit that they do that is completely unnecessary, and it just puts power into their pockets. Does the New World Order really need this much surveillance? Does Iteration X need to be under the thumb of a computer? Does the Syndicate need to have a line go up forever and you can't just live in a world of post-scarcity? It's all this shit that hangs up and makes me say, I see why you like the Technocracy, but you're wrong to say that they're the heroes because of the shit they do. But if you were to say that the Nephandi have infiltrated the Technocracy, and this is where this policy is coming from, that makes sense to me. In that regard.
Kind of, but I feel like it waters down the Technocracy, though. Yeah, we could say that Nephandi have infiltrated the Technocracy, but at the same time, I think there's enough incompetence in that organization to say that they are helping the Nephandi, whether they know it or not.
Because I like the idea that was in first edition where it said that the Nephandi were winning the Ascension War. But at the same time, it makes the Technocracy look weak in comparison. So I prefer the idea that the Nephandi and the Technocracy are both neck and neck, and it's the Traditionalists who are eating a dick in the whole Ascension War.
Pretty much.
I
love the Traditionalists, but let's be fair here, they are not winning that war.
It's like if I may do the fraction of my mind, it's like 40-40-20 in regards to Technocracy, Nephandi, Traditionalist.
Pretty much.
In terms of split. And then World War II happens, and the Nephandi were about to take over the world in 1943 until the Technocracy realized what the fuck they were doing and pulled out of Germany. And
I guess the super cocaine bucket ran out, and they kind of sobered up.
So that's when they were about to completely take over the world, and they were going to have their way where everything is terrible. They're now putting people in cattle cars so they can be put up. The gas chamber. The gas chamber was just the start. It was eventually going to become this giant sausage grinder where they just drop you in and just turn you into mush, and eventually just the mouth of a devil the minute they start building consensus enough to make you believe that demons were back on Earth. And that was where it was going. But no, they had to pull out Germany, so they said, okay, well, maybe we can do something with Japan, and then a nuke fell. Amazing. And
then everyone started standing still when that happened.
And the Nephandi looked and said, all right, well, there we go, I guess the Technocracy wins. And they thought, man, let's say, hold on, pull back around. Nuclear war just happened. Everybody's now terrified of this new weapon that Russia stole the designs for, and now they're building, and now they're in an arms race with America to see who can build the bigger bomb and where it can be launched from. Hold on a minute, I don't think it's over. Everybody get back in the room, but Ascension War's back on.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
And that's where we are now, and the Nephandi haven't really suffered any losses or gained any ground since then. I mean, M20 probably has a different story. Is there
a little bit?
Is there any detail in M20 that you feel is essential for this?
Not that I can recall, really. I'm not really big on the Nephandi as a organization, considering you don't really need to know a lot about them to play a Nephandi.
Yeah, a lot is pretty self-explanatory.
You gotta pretty much just dig into that darkest part of yourself and just think of all the most heinous shit you can possibly do and put that into a character. Bam, you have a Nephandi.
Deliberately think of politically incorrect thoughts. You want to go
You're going further than that. We're going for, like, shit that will be putting you on the death sentence several times over.
It's like with Silent Hill 2, where the whole thing that this is a 24-year-old game that got remade. I don't think this is a spoiler. Where, in regards to Pyramid Head being a reflection of James's sexuality, where the whole idea where when we meet Pyramid Head for the second time, he's fucking the legs monster to death.
Yeah.
And if he's doing that, that means the thought came across James's mind at least once that he could fuck that monster. And that's what that scene means. Those are the kind of thoughts that come across your mind with the Nephandi. It's shit that you would not tell anybody that you think of, but it's okay if you write it into the story and have your villain do it. Because in doing so, if you have your villain doing this thing, that's you showing that this isn't an okay thing to do. And it becomes a little bit more acceptable, especially if that character gets punished for what they just did.
Absolutely. It's going to be a little terrifying, though, since you are creating this sort of thing, and at the same time, you're holding a bit of a dark mirror up to yourself when you play this character.
That was part of the fun with playing Insta Road when we did our Werewolf Live play, where I'm playing a deliberately evil hero. but
Ends the Road was a borderline BSD, honestly.
and I had to carefully skirt a line whenever I played as her, because I said I want her to do shit that's going to stir shit up, but I need to make sure that she's still likable enough to stay in the story and keep viewership. Was the challenge with her character. That was a challenge I imposed upon myself, because I could have just gone in with my plan A, which was stirs the pot or snooter, and I could have just made that my character instead. But I was thinking to myself, no, it's a little bit too easy. And then I had a conversation with Dan that convinced me, no, Int has to be the character I play for this game, and that's what led to that. Because the Nephandi too, you need to carefully skirt it. It's, say, what is your opinion on Elfen Lied?
Elfen Lied?
Yeah, that
It's a
story.
pretty good series. Kind of classic. Uh, Very gory. But then again, that's kind of what I expect from that era of anime.
Where it was made more to promote manga sales and actually tell a full story beginning and end on its own.
Yep.
So a lot of people really don't like it because of just how edgy and dark it gets in some areas. And that's kind of the level where you need to get close to when you're doing an Nephandi, but you don't want to go fully into that territory. You want it to be disturbing in a way where it stays disturbing, but doesn't come out as overly edgy or overly disgusting or just obscene. That's what you want to try to do. Where, for example, I think what would be a good way to introduce your Nephandi, um, so have it be a case where the Nephandi are chasing down one of the one of your heroes, and you establish the Nephandi by killing one of your hero characters or your ally NPC or one of your retainers that you took in the background. What would be a funny way to do it would be for that guy to kill your retainer or your ally. What you want to do with the Nephandi and how you do it is that you want to wait for the player characters to come on screen and see this right before it goes off, and then the Nephandi kills the enemy, but it's not an immediate kill, it's a slow one. Or say they use something like correspondence that prevents your spells from reaching the retainer or NPC, or they have a ward around them and the person they're killing to prevent your spells but not theirs. And it's a scene where you have to watch them do the slow killing, but it's not to the point where it's obscene. The minute that Nephandi pulls out his penis or something, or if it gets to the point where he's really drawing out the torture, that's too long. I'd say probably what Nephandi would do is that he would blow off all four limbs of the character you're trying to save and then just dip after it happens. And by the time you reach your friend, they're already dead from blood loss. By that point,
Or, considering that these are mages, they'd probably just teleport all the blood out of you.
that's what they do. Just come up with a very creative way of killing you. That's a fun way, where we turned all of your blood into gasoline, and not
turned your brain into a feral squirrel that will claw its way out of your skull.
They come with a very deliberate spell that's just made to cause as much pain and suffering as possible before they dip. You want to do your damage and leave with your Nephandi characters.
Turning someone's blood into grease remover.
And the name of the game with the Nephandi, cruelty. You want these guys to be nasty with what they do. If you think, if you're thinking this will cause an erection of my players, then do it with your Nephandi. Absolutely do it. You want to have as many twist the knife, kick the dog moments as you can.
Go full Hirohiko Araki when his approach to dogs.
Right.
If you watch JoJo, you know what I'm talking about.
But if it comes to a Nephandi player character,
no, absolutely not. There will never be a Nephandi player character. You can do BSD campaigns, Sabbat campaigns, fucking Fomori campaigns. No Nephandi. Like, it specifically states, do not do Nephandi campaigns.
Because I like the Nephandi as villains, but they're not my favorites when it comes to bad guys, because I would sooner use the Tremere Anti-Tribu, the Bali, the BSDs, and Pentex, and probably the Legions of Stygia before I would use Nephandi as villains in most of my games. And I think I figured out the reason why. And it came from a weird spot. It came from a weird thought. I had this thought pop into my head like 10 minutes before we started recording, is when I figured this out. Where bit of a, like, I'll explain this point with the story I was doing. You know how X is completely dead, where it's just AI generated whatever and bots on the site, and that's all you have. You're not interacting with a person. You have a 1 in 4 chance of finding a person on X by this point.
I already don't use X, but I kind of know what you're talking about.
And because of it, the first thing I see on X every time I sign in is just AI generated weirdness. Usually it's something anti-Semitic because it thinks I want to see that for some reason. But I decided, you know what? Here's an account that just does nothing but post AI videos. Let me just go ahead and let me check this out. It's called AI Slop. I was just flipping through it, namely because I was posting these videos of these cats with guns just shooting at people's houses.
Were they orange tabbies?
It was, yes. It was Mr. Whiskers and all of his guns.
Always the fucking orange.
And there were dozens of these. It was just a whole series of videos of just Mr. Whiskers and his guns. But I started flipping through it. I think I spent about an hour just going through that one account. And of course it posted one of those different AI generated like story videos you would put on Facebook to like farm likes and follows. And it was this like whole video where it was like this like toddler crying about, oh, I can't afford a tricycle, and he's got this like dog, this like little poodle that walks on 2 legs next to him. And it's this whole like 2-minute long video where, oh, like he takes the toddler back and they pick limes off a tree and they make lemonade from the limes somehow. And then they're doing this whole thing where they're selling the lemonade, and somebody gives them $100 and they manage to make enough money for a tricycle, only to go back to the store to find out the tricycle sold out. And it just ends with this kid crying and a dog being sad too. I'm thinking, well, what the fuck? Why would you make this? Why would you have this go on for as long as it did? And I watched the whole thing, and then it just ends like that. And that's
rage bait.
And that's what kind of came to my mind with the whole Nephandi too, because that's the whole thing with the Nephandi. Because you can have sympathetic Bali that realize that you made a mistake crawling out of that flesh pit to join a Bali, or now you're stuck with the bill that your bloodfather made, and now you have to pay for it in the souls. Or same with the BSDs. You realize you made a mistake with dancing the spiral, or the spiral that you danced, and your unity with the BSDs is the only and best family that you've ever known. Stories like that. But with the Nephandi, you don't get that. There's no sympathetic qualities to Nephandi. It's just people who give you that same what the fuck feeling that I saw from that video. And that's what hangs me up on Nephandi, because do they make for very effective villains? Yes. Do they make for very detestable villains? Yes. Can they be swapped out by any other villain? Yes. Because anyone else can do what the Nephandi can do. You can't really go down the same kind of sympathetic storytelling that you could with the other factions in World of Darkness. And that's...
You're trying to make sympathy out of a character that's just a heinous creature. I'm not even going to say a person. These people are so far down the rabbit hole that calling them human is generous.
And that's the thing too. Like, you don't just worship Satan or some sort of demon for sympathetic reasons. You don't sign yourself over to the worm and gain direct power from him as an archmage for sympathetic reason. You don't contact Cthulhu with a Klasha for sympathetic reasons. You can't do that with the Nephandi, because that's just the kind of taste I have, where I like more tragedian kind of villains, and that's my taste. And you can't really do that with the Nephandi. Now, granted, there are some stories where you just need an out-and-out villain, where you just need a clear-cut, you are the pitch-black version of evil bad guy that does the bad thing and you need to be stopped. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. That's just not the kind of taste I have. Kyle likes those kind of villains. I don't dislike them, but they're not the ones I shoot for. That's what I mean. So it's that missing piece of Nephandi that, by nature of them being the Nephandi, you can't add that piece to them, which is what prevents me from being as enthusiastic about these guys as I was about the Bali, for example. Does that make sense to you?
It does. But honestly, not with that attitude. I could probably think of a few ways where you could probably make a sympathetic Nephandi. It's going to take some time and effort. It can be done.
You gotta think about that. You're gonna have to get back to me about that.
Yeah, it can't be like, I don't know, a decade. I'm sure I can think of one idea.
And now I think it's time for us to talk about the categories of Nephandi.
Oh boy.
We have 3 types of Nephandi. What kind of dark power did you submit yourself to? We have the Infernalists, who worship the beings that inhabit Inferno. Did God make hell? No, the demons of Demon of Fallen made hell for themselves. It's not the abyss where they're tortured forever. This is the version of hell where the devils are in charge, and they have a realm that is just perpetual suffering. And that's all it is. It's not the atrocity realm. That's not what it is. That's not Malphite either. They just
that's someone else's deal.
Yeah, they just made a realm where they're in charge. The world that they wish they could have made if they succeeded on the rebellion. If the fall didn't happen, this is what the world would have looked like in their eyes. But it's not the world. It's just a copy of the world where life only exists because of them, and if they were to leave or they were to die, it would just cease to exist.
I like to think of it as like cosmic fan fiction.
That's all it is. And these people with their power fantasies, these demons, will find humans that try to venerate them, and usually they just rip the soul out of them, eat it, and then just use that to prolong their existence and feed their own powers and faith meters. But if a guy is a true believer of them, if they're a fanatic, if they have fully bought into a demon's lies, and they will lay down their lives and die for them, then they're allowed to ascend and become an infernal Nephandi. In this regard, this is your straight up Satanist, is what these guys are. Just you worship Satan, you love Satan, you fully submit to this. You tattooed your entire body in pentagrams and hexagrams with the brimstone cross and all these other like satanic symbols, demonic symbols, and you are ready to sacrifice virgins to your demon god of choice for power. And that's the whole scheme behind this.
Maybe they want to become the demon they so worship.
Where you just get to, like, it's almost like a ghoul and their vampire in terms of their relationship, where you're trying so hard to get your Infernal Master's approval, even though your Infernal Master is probably just going to keep stringing you along, and even when you gain that demon form, you will only be working at a fraction of the fallen or earthbound you made the pact with. Because after all, we're not going to give you the same power as me, because then you're going to challenge me and then dethrone me the same way that I tried to dethrone God in their minds. You think Kupala is going to give you 100% of Kupala's own power?
Fuck no.
That ain't going to happen.
You'd be lucky if you even got 5%.
Even with the eldest, who is the eldest, Kupala didn't go all in on that deal, and that deal was made to benefit Kupala first, the eldest second. Which is why, when it came to the Anarch Revolt, why the eldest puppeteered his clan to find the contract and shred it to gain one over on Kupala. That was the scheme behind all that. So that's what you get with these guys. I think it's pretty simple to explain that the devil worshipping mage. I don't think there's much left to explain at this point.
Yeah, just hail Satan, sacrifice the virgin, drink their blood, infinite power.
You watched Rosemary's Baby.
Deal.
You watched the ending to Rosemary's Baby is what happened. That's what they look like.
Pretty much.
There's now a single Nephandi Infernalist that's younger than 60.
God damn it.
I'm also thinking the whole infiltrate tenocracy idea. You remember Bohemian Grove? The plot of land that Mark Twain owned and sold to the Republican Party, and now they use it to do the cremation of care shit where they sacrifice an effigy of a little boy to Moloch, the god of child sacrifice.
No.
And then
what the fuck?
Dog, I'm not bullshitting you at all. That's real. that shit's real.
You know, it's kind of wild and out there. It probably is real.
That got exposed all the way back into 2000s. That is what gave Alex Jones his claim to fame, by the way. Exposing that. That was his big break. That was his big reporter story, was exposing the cremation of care ceremony. And then when the Republican Party got caught for doing that, they said, "Oh, we're just a couple of guys having fun in the woods. That's all we're doing.
Well, knock it off! You're making us look bad.
We're just sacrificing a wooden boy to a demon god and fucking each other in their ass and doing drugs and filming each other doing it. That's it." There was like Tom Hanks was there and Danny Glover was there allegedly.
Allegedly. Don't sue us. We have no money.
Tom Hanks is the Nephandi.
Mage the Ascension Hollywood would be a weird fucking campaign, honestly.
We now have...
Just like, okay, who's been on the registry this year? didn't know he was on it. Nephandi. Oh, vampire.
Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Woody Allen. This is not what you would imagine the Church of Satan to look like.
Yeah. A lot of these people are old and has-been actors. What the fuck?
Hey, I watched you in American Beauty. You were great in that movie.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, compose myself. We now have the Malfian Nephandi, who are Nephandi that have concluded that the god of evil is the worm. And they directly worship the worm, and because the worm loves people, he gives them their power. Or maybe it's she.
To be fair, they're not very far off.
Because the worm is lonely, as we have discussed multiple times in our entire back catalog of werewolf videos. And, the worm is just a sympathetic villain. The 5th edition had it right that the worm, the cosmic force of death, decay, entropy, corruption,
hatred.
It isn't evil, it's just misunderstood.
I'm just an innocent little sympathetic villain who didn't do nothing wrong.
And that's the whole thing. So if you come into contact with, it's not even the worm, it's just that triadic worm you're getting a power from. Do the Nephandi even know the difference? When you make this
do
deal?
You think they care?
You came into contact with the Calamity Worm or the Defiler Worm, or if this countercall happens before the events of the Croatan Sacrifice, or after the year 2000, the Consumption Worm. So you made the deal with.
I still say the Consumption Worm is still out there.
The Consumption Worm. It is, it just can't get into the material plane.
Yeah.
It's just locked out by the Croatan.
I actually made an idea for one of my older settings.
Tell me.
Where underneath the mall in the Umbra, there's this pit in the main area. And if you look down it, you would just see this thick wall of gums and teeth. And you could just talk to the hunger worm. And he will just say, I am the first sense of hunger since mankind has existed. I am the consumer of all things.
Ever since Adam ate from the tree of knowledge, I've existed.
Yeah. You can just talk to the hunger worm. He's not gonna do anything. I mean, you can throw shit into the pit and all that, but he ain't gonna chase you. He's just there.
You just jump down his throat and die, and that's it.
Yeah, that's just game over. There's no going back from being eaten by the consumption worm.
He just erases existence. That's his power.
He's his mouth is like oblivion. It will lead straight to oblivion.
It's just complete destruction. This is the schmuckhead who left the Oblivion machine on and then never turned it off in Wraith.
Ah, jeez, did I forget something? I'm sure it's not important.
But behold, you go back to your house, you left the sink on and plugged the drain before you left on vacation.
Ah, crap, not again.
And with the Mage and Incarna, all three of them will tell you that they're the one and only worm, and they all know about each other. They all know about this hustle, and they try to outdo each other with these kind of competitions. What we were talking about before with giving yourself over to a spirit of anger, a spirit of bitterness, a spirit of despair, that's what this is.
The spirit of racism.
Or
I wonder what that will be like.
Most Barabi who are Hermetics would end up becoming these. Because after all, the Order of Hermes knows about the Demiurge and combats the Demiurge. This is a Hermetic that has given up and has just decided to join the winning team, so to speak. And
the sellout mages. No, wait. I remember. I used to call Nephandi the Black Pill Mages.
Oh yeah, because this is an openly despairing faction of the Nephandi.
The Hollow Ones are not the Black Pill Mages. Honestly, the Nephandi make the Hollow Ones look like Hello Kitty's Island Adventure.
Oh yes, because the Hollow Ones aren't trying to kill anybody. They're not trying to destroy anybody. They're just
sad.
They're goths. They're goths.
They just want to sit down in a corner and just be sad. That's the Hollow Ones.
His morning is just he gets a cigarette and a cup of coffee. He smokes and drinks. And Nephandi goes and buys an AR-15 and then finds the nearest elementary school.
Yeah.
And that's how they start their morning.
Pretty much.
And then because of that, they can just jump between different bodies and then just keep doing it forever. And every mass killing in America has just been the one guy hopping between bodies.
Oh, that would be a fucked up story idea.
Yeah, that's your Chronicle. Try to catch this guy before he does his next killing spree.
Catch the spirit of mass shootings.
That's what you do, and then everything will be solved, and gun control will happen. You thought this was an anti-gun gun game? Now it's a pro-gun game.
Yeah, good luck trying to get anti-gun legislations after the past several years.
And with the Mage and Incarna, that's who they directly worship to, where you don't necessarily need to go to the worm himself. You could just go to the Mages, and they can give you this power instead. And it's very, very similar to the Infernalist version, where you're just trying to appease and please your Mage and Incarna of choice. Or if you're in Asia, it'll be your Yama King of choice in that regard. And there's not really a Melgian, Malfian, Nephandi that worships a worm totem. That's not really a thing. You can do that. You can take totem as a background as a mage, and you could have Bat be your totem for Chronicle, but that's not common amongst Nephandi.
Maybe if they were dream speakers before they fell, but not a lot of hermetics or celestial choristers take that background.
There is one group in particular the Melgians hate, and that is the Euthanatos. They hate them with the burning. You would think it'd be the Dream Seekers, wouldn't you? But no, the Dream Seekers.
So.
The Dream Seekers, because they're so fractured and they can't get on the same page, the Nephandi doesn't even consider them a threat. The Dream Seekers will just destroy themselves before the Nephandi can. The Euthanatos are the ones that make the progress here, where the Euthanatos have this whole idea that the world needs to keep spinning and it's an endless cycle of life and death. The Malfians just want to break the entire cycle entirely. That's it.
Euthanatos want to keep the machine up and running. The Nephandi just want to break that fucker into pieces.
They consider...
Which kind of makes me think,
yeah?
Do you think that the Euthanatos are in contact with the traditional not the Triadic worm, the true worm?
That would make sense, yes.
Yeah.
I did not... That's not in their books, but if that was a thing, that would make sense.
If there ever is, like, I remember we talked about, like, the apocalypse scenarios. Yes. What do you think would happen if, like, the Euthanatos just came in, snapped all the Weaver's strands, and just let that guy out?
We'd have the ending of Weaver Ascending is what would happen.
Yeah.
And then we would have no world, and now you have to start the game all over again.
Yeah. Well, except for maybe the player characters, I could probably see them becoming avatars, but
the wild would come. The wild would come back, see that the world is just gone after the balance worm came back, and would sigh and reach into his bag of space and just pull out his next copy of the world, slap it down to a table, and start the game all over again.
I'm just imagining the wild just stepping out to get a soda, coming back and just see all his stuff going. He's like, "Where the fuck is all my shit?"
Everybody wants to talk about how bad the wild is doing. The wild has just got copies plural of Gaia. At any point, the wild can just hit the reset button and start the game all over again.
It literally has Pangea in the background just waiting to be used.
Not just that, but like copies of Pangea they can just pull out.
Yeah.
And we can just start the game all over again. And then we have the Clasha. Were you playing Mage Ascension and you thought, Sai, I really liked Call of Cthulhu. I wish I was playing Call of Cthulhu instead. Well, now you can compromise with these guys.
You ever played Call of Cthulhu, Johnny? It's a very crunchy game.
It is. It takes a long time to play.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Fox, tells me about it, and he tells me that this game has been going on for. He's been playing a 9th edition game. I think it's 9th edition. I
think it goes up to 7th. I don't know.
I think I'm wrong about that. He's been telling me that whatever edition it is, it's been going on for. No, I'm thinking about Warhammer with the 9th edition thing. By the way, this Call of Cthulhu game has been going on for 2 years by this point. And I'm thinking, like, shouldn't his Elder God have been summoned by this point? Or is the game really just that slow?
It's a very slow burn game. It's not something where it's like, pop up, there's a monster, you turn around, pop up, there's a monster. It's something where you want to, like, slow cook the whole tension and the fear. Death is not the biggest issue you can come across in Call of Cthulhu. It's losing your mind.
And with the Clasha is that you've come into contact with your Elder God of choice, And do you really venerate the Elder God, or do you even know what the fuck you're doing by this point?
Usually, when it comes to like for the Warlock, the Great Old One subclass, it's generally stated that your patron doesn't really know you even exist, and the one or few times that they look your way is a good day.
But
Mind you, you might get like super insanity.
we
But
get
Senpai noticed you, Johnny.
we get. I feel like this is a really, really interesting thing to add to Mage and World of Darkness as a whole, and then it just doesn't go anywhere besides bringing up the idea. Because who the fuck are the outsiders? Who are these guys?
I don't know.
Because
I got nothing.
the whole thing is that these are the elder gods and the great old ones that just exist outside of reality itself and are trying to come into contact with it, which kind of raises into question with the cosmology of the world of darkness, that God himself made the world and all the demons and angels in it, and then he left. And that kind of raises the question, we were made in the image of God, but did we necessarily... But we have the arms and legs and eyes and ears of God, but what skin texture did he have? How many fingers exactly did he have? Was every detail copied over in the World of Darkness cosmology? And when God left, did he go to the same place that the outsiders came from in that regard? Is the idea.
Maybe. Now you just got me imagining what will happen if God does come before us. Will we even recognize him?
Because you get whole thing. Oh no, you're told in passages of the Old Testament, if you were to look directly upon his image, your mind would not be able to comprehend what you would be seeing, and you would just die from seeing him. The death isn't necessarily described, but it's more like you just go into so much shock and overload that you just asphyxiate at his side.
Oh man, I can't believe the Bible ripped off Lovecraft.
Yes. and with these gods, to the outsiders, what necessarily do they want? You have no idea what their motivation is, or just how powerful they are, because if these are beings that exist outside reality, why are they outside of reality? Why do they want to get into ours specifically? What's so special about it? And then what are they going to do once they get in? You're given no explanation to it. Besides, it's probably not something bad, because there are no good Klasha. Every single one of them is evil. All of them.
From what I recall of the Lovecraftian Cthulhu mythos, is that Earth is like the single speck of goodness in the entire existence. And I guess all these dark gods want to get onto that and smash out that light.
Because you have different gods too in all these different books. Because the most directly adversarial being is Nyarlathotep in the books.
Yeah. And he's basically just like a cosmic asshole. He's not even...
He hates people, he hates joys, he hates smiles, he hates happiness, and he just wants to see it destroyed.
He's like that one roided out dickhead at the beach that'll smash the 5-year-old sandcastle that they worked on.
And then some guys like Shub Niggurath, for example, you don't even get a motivation with them. They're just here doing something, and you can't really communicate with them now, can you?
Not really.
Or, for example, you have ones that are kind of neutral beings, like Yog-Sothoth, where he'll tell you about the secrets of the universe, he'll make a bargain with you, but you will not retain your sanity after that conversation ends. And he does have a vested interest in humanity, because he creates, I think the character's name is Walter Whately, where he inseminates a woman and creates an offspring with a human in one of the stories.
And that's where tieflings come from.
Yeah, how's that for your dark fantasy, your dark romance story?
You don't get the sexy demon boy, you get the eldritch abomination.
Where it's simultaneously your worst and best orgasm at the same time. And you're left with the complicated feelings of that afterwards.
Actually, thinking about it, it does have something... I did think of something. What if these eldritch entities that lie beyond reality, what if those are like the original Fae? Like the Fae we have been molded and changed by human dreams, and they've changed from what these things would look like into what we know today.
That
Like we get the regular changelings.
humanity's first
But-
dreams were just scribbles and nonsense and things that just didn't make any sense, and this is the physical form that they take.
Yeah,
And
but the things beyond reality, what dreamed those into existence, you think?
and then the Fallen had to come in and give right-minded thoughts to humanity to create the changelings.
Indeed.
And
Which kind of makes it terrifying to think these are basically just Nephandi that are archfey warlocks.
it could be, yes. It could be.
Just like chaotic evil archfey warlocks.
And then the class are in here, and then is there any other information on them? No.
No. You expect us to write something about a faction that is worshipping an unknowable object? Get the fuck out of here!
That's it. It's like this feels like it could create its own game by this point. That you could have had
Absolutely.
like a marriage between World of Darkness and Call of Cthulhu could have happened from this.
You make a book like that, you will make a fucking mint. Mark my words.
In fact, in first edition, they brought up Call of Cthulhu by name to use as reference for it. It's in this.
Right, well, if you want to make some money, make a Call of Cthulhu crossover book. You will pay off every debt you have by next week.
And instead, you made Curseborn.
Ooh.
Oh.
I might actually show up for that episode because I have no fucking clue what that is.
For this, it's so instead of creating a good Chronicles of Darkness book or going down a different direction, because Onyx Path itself is not allowed to write about World of Darkness. It's been given over to Renegade, and they're about to lose the license as of recording this video. And instead of making a game that was worth half a fuck, or taking an old game idea, making a new edition of that and making it better, they instead made a rip-off version of World of Darkness where every single different monster and power system existed in a rip-off form, and they all have to share the same character sheet. And that's what it boils down to.
God, you are making me want to do a Mage the Ascension Call of Cthulhu game. The absolute terror I would instill upon the group.
Absolutely.
Legend.
Like the whole Numina shit, like the whole like Psycho shit. Well, maybe you could have had the Outsiders tied to that. Where say just coming into unknowable contact, or if these things look at you, that's why it awakens your Numina powers.
Absolutely. And just imagine, this is a game of Mage where reality bends to your will. Now imagine what will happen when that stops working.
When all of a sudden you encounter a being that not even your own consensus can affect.
Yeah, the technocracy and all their big shooty guns. Call of Cthulhu is a game where you have guns and they gotta do shit, but you still have them. Now imagine the Call of Cthulhu people versus the technocracy and their guns not working. You get the fucking space gun that took out Zephythesura, and that doesn't even make a dent in it.
As it turns out, it doesn't even work. If there was an antediluvian and vampire that was in contact with these,
Dagon.
If there was,
It's immediately Dagon. You said antediluvian in contact with these, I immediately think Dagon. And no, wait, no, fuck. I'm thinking La Sombra.
Yeah. Well, Sombra's talking to what's below. These guys are above.
Yeah.
Because it's not the eldest. It wouldn't be the eldest in that regard. Let's go ahead and let's finish this brainstorm right now. Let's think about what if we were to have our own way with vampire for a minute and think about what antediluvian would be in contact with these guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it can't be a guy that's already got a commitment though. So looking through the list is what we got. It can't be can't be El Sombra, it can't be the eldest. They've already got plans going on.
Right.
Cappadocius has already gotten his own plot. Hakeem's got his own plot.
Malkalv.
This is when he erased his body and became abstract thought. This is what he came in contact with.
Probably. Maybe that's what you think. Maybe a couple Malkavians are seeing these creatures and they're just like going insane, just walking.
He found the reality computer and typed in /noclip and then flew outside the map, and this is what he found.
And that's why both Malkav and the Void Engineers saw this, and they just ran back to Earth.
The other two antediluvians that don't really have any metaplot commitments would be Arakel and Ventru. And those are the two. Well,
Ventru I could
Venture's got his own shit going on with the
Why
Kane
am I thinking
subplot.
Venture?
What? So what if there were like so that leaves the Toreador in that case if it's not Malkav.
I would also think Tremere as well. I mean, come on, you can't have Call of Cthulhu and not include the magic vampires.
Yeah. This is when Solot takes over Tremere's soul, he doesn't absorb it. He just kicks it out of his body, and this is where it lands. It's just out in the back rooms, and now it's here.
Those actually do exist. The back rooms are canon in Mage the Ascension.
Mage. And now we get a few Barabi stereotypes in first edition, where going over the ones that are interesting. I think we've mentioned some of these before. Maybe we're just bouncing off ideas of Barabi. How power hungry would an Order of Hermes Barabi be?
Like, they want to take all the shortcuts and not learn any discipline. That's kind of what you do when you want all-powerful, and that's when you make the deal with the devil. You don't want to do things the right way. You want to do it the fast way.
They don't want to become a king, simply just a king. They want to be the God Emperor when they're Barabi.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for. A Cult of Ecstasy Barabi.
They want to do... Oh,
you remember the Toreador anti-tribu?
I believe so.
That kind of stuff.
They're like the ones that just want to like do all the heinous crap at all the times.
They're not necessarily snuff pornographers, the Toreador anti-tribu. They're more into the dark exploration of art. They want to look at the thoughts that humanity usually suppresses, and now that they're no longer restrained by their own humanity, they can think about this freely, and they can make whatever they want with no restraints. That kind of stuff with the Cult of Ecstasy. Where you're now doing the Cult of Ecstasy shit without the moral restraints.
I imagine a lot of Zemitzi-esque bullshit and lube.
It's that no pedo shit with the ecstasy. That's too simple. What you're doing with the babies is that you're grinding them into dust and then snorting it.
Yeah. Baby cocaine.
And that's what you're doing with this.
I'm pretty sure ex-actor, ex-politician starts this stuff too.
They made the fucking lotion out of their foreskins. It just this is just the next step up. You told this poor woman her baby died in childbirth, but no, you used that baby to make a human drug out of. We would keep the babies alive after they're born, have a discussion with the mother. Sons of Ether, they tend to be eco-terrorists when they're Barabi.
Pretty much.
But what if we just made this laser gun that just kills plants on impact?
What if we just made this super gun that makes plants give off super cancer?
And then the happening happens.
Yeah.
And now we're stuck in the Night Shyamalan movie for our campaign.
The Sons of Ether Barabi comes out. Don't worry, guys. My latest invention will save us, and it's just a cancer gun.
Or the virtual adapts who will send you an email, and when you open the email, a black hole opens on your computer.
Yeah.
And it will
That's
not.
a little basic for the virtual adapts.
Yeah.
They'll probably just send them into like some kind of mirror dimension where everything is just off.
They go into the dark web, and they come out as copies of Slender Man and the Rake and other creepypasta monsters. And something that's fun here, Orphan Barabi. They're not happy. You thought...
I don't think the orphans are happy at all, ever.
Now, if you thought the Hollow Ones were having it bad already, the only way to get a Hollow One into Nephandi is just to out and out lie to them about what Nephandi is. And those are the ones that say, I've made a mistake when it comes to Nephandi. They acknowledge that they've made a mistake, and now they're locked into a paradigm that they don't want to have, but now they're so emotionally or mentally damaged they can't quit doing what they're doing.
I would probably see the Hollow One Nephandi just looking at themselves, see what they became, and go, well, I've been gone this far. May as well make the most of it.
Or they would
just turn that power onto other Nephandi.
Or they would immediately do this whole suicide by paradox, where we just go in, start casting all these different crazy destructive spells in public just to have consensus wipe them away. And that's the plan. As for what is the overall goal of the Nephandi, complete destruction of the world, or complete domination of the world. It varies between your Nephandi.
You're basically a cosmic griefer.
You either want to kill all mages and keep all the sleepers asleep forever, or you just want to destroy the world. That's what it boils down to. Where some Nephandi just want to completely destroy the game of Mage Ascension, and then some of them just want to make it into a sadist show perpetual suffering machine. Those are your two types. As for there's a third type, I couldn't tell you.
Neither could I. They're kind of very straightforward as a faction, if you can even call them that.
It's very simple. That's why this episode only needs to be 2 hours. Yeah. And now for the ranks of Nephandi. It's very easy to explain. You have the pawns. Well, with a name like that, what do you think they are?
Cannon fodder, bodies to throw at it. The lowest level of true mages, as well as the top level for sorcerers. Not truly Cullborn, they're initiates, in progress corruption targets, and other mages who, by necessity, can't know the true extent of their master's powers and plans.
If you're a sleeper pawn, you are just there to die. That's your whole scheme in the Nephandi plan. You're like the suicide bombers who are told that you're going to have the 77 virgin olive oils poured on your body by Allah himself when you die. And then that doesn't happen because you just blew yourself up. Or if you are awakened, you are a guy that the Infernal Powers or the Malfians have no intention of paying you what you are supposedly owed, and they'll send you on a mission that they know will kill you, and then you die, and they don't have to pay you. This is why you ask for your payments up front when you sign the contract with these guys.
People who join the Nephandi aren't exactly all there when it comes to mentally.
You need to know how to read and finesse the contract and haggle the contract before you join the Nephandi, or else you become a pawn.
Pretty much.
Now, if you knew what you were doing before you joined the Nephandi, or if you were competent, or if you were a Barabi, you become the Shaitan. It's spelled exactly how you think it is. Where you are the foot soldiers who are going out of your way to hunt other traditionalists or other technocrats and kill them. Assassins.
Shaitan are Nephandi responsible for violence and intimidation. Many are skilled in all areas of conflict, while others are only good for cracking heads. Either way, these goons in Nephandi you're most likely to scrap with.
Or sometimes you're in a sleeper area and you do stuff like, say there's a protest going on. The Shaitan walks in with a finger gun, casts a forces spell that shoots a guy in the head, and then makes a really loud gunshot sound with the spell. That leads to a massive riot where everybody then starts fighting and killing each other, and the Nephandi that did it just walks away. Job done.
No comment.
Or you just start using entropy to have everybody's money just disappear from a community. Or you start using the life spell to cause life to run amok, become corrupt, and now everybody in the community has cancer. Or just spells like that.
A lot of cancer references to this episode.
Well,
I don't know what
that's because
about.
that's what the Nephandi are. Nobody wants to be around these guys.
They're cosmic cancer!
That's what the consensus just can't wipe them out fast enough.
Absolutely. Next up.
At Sinistrati, where these are more like your priest of evil, so to speak. They're the ones who are wandering around looking for stuff to corrupt and destroy. Once they find their targets, they immediately stick the Shaitans on them, who then just do the job while they figure out what the next plan is going to be.
They're basically the carrot to the Shaitan stick. Tempters and infiltrators, they're all the real secret weapons of the Fallen. They're the Nephandi diplomats.
And in regards to finding Barabi, they're the ones who are doing that. You're trying to find either Witherslate, who haven't ascended yet, and you put them on the path to ascending into becoming a Nephandi, or you break a paradigm of a traditionalist or technocrat to get them on your side.
Yeah. Though the Sinistrati are probably the only ones that'll probably go out and interact with the other quote-unquote evil factions of the World of Darkness. See your Sabbats, your Black Spiral Dancers, the Shadow Courts.
Oh yes, we'll get to them soon.
Oh boy.
The Prelati, who are the personal assistants of the real people in power, the Galliardians. Or, sorry, that's not how you say that at all. It's even this funny-ass French pronunciation. Galliardians. The G is a J and the I is an A. in the
Is it
pronunciation.
Gillidians or Gillidians?
Gillidians. It's based off of G de Rai is where they get their name from.
Yeah.
From the ecclesiastic courts. These are your leaders under the Nephandi, the ones who are deciding where in the world can we make everything worse for everybody, or where can we destroy the world next, is the plan.
Yeah. They mostly reside in labyrinths, which are Nephandi-controlled umbral realms, where they live out their Bond villain fantasies and direct large-scale operations, so don't expect to run into them much or at all.
And the reason why they call themselves G de Rai is because when France was going through their 15th century period of shit, G de Rai was the one that was going around and just making everything worse for everybody while being in a position of power. He is not a very beloved man in French history. Next up, you
Not
have
exactly narrowing it down.
And the next up are the Oswaldians, who are your anti-oracles in the Nephandi, where they're kind of like your, if I'm understanding this right, your office workers, so to speak. They're these men behind the shadows, where the Gillidians have to say, "Oh, let me consult my my counsel about this." They'll go over and talk to an Aswadim, who then gives them the statistics as to what's going to happen next before they do the evil plan. They'll then go over and talk with their prelati, who then goes over and talks to the administrati, who then talks to the shaitans, who then talks to the pawns. In order.
It's kind of selling them short, Johnny. Do you know what an oracle is?
Yeah, we did a whole episode about these guys with fatalism.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
I missed that episode. But have you ever wondered what you could probably do with R8 10?
You missed that. Weren't you a part of the Wraith episode we did last week?
I think so.
Yeah,
I can't even remember what I had for dinner last week, to be honest.
Yeah, you were part of that episode. We did an episode together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the
I'm pretty sure I was.
And the Legion of Fate shit. So
yeah.
So yeah, there's the whole council here. This is your, I guess, an entire evil sect of chaosticians. Is what this boils down to.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Now, do they have any friends? No, not really.
Not emphasis on the not really part.
But they do talk with some people, specifically when it comes to plans. How do you get these plans to work? Do not tell them you're a Nephandi. If you openly just tell somebody that you're this satanic evil mage, your plan will fall apart.
Absolutely.
What they'll do is that they go around to human sleeper cultists that think they know what they're doing when they don't understand what the fuck they're doing at all. You're just satanic or demonic worshiper posers that are no better than pawns. You just give them orders, or you just drop an artifact in their laps and then just walk away and just have them do their damage, and if they die, no sweat on you. No sweat on your bones.
I'm thinking of an even more fucked up version of Death Note.
Is you just drop the Death Note in their laps and then just see what they do with it. And when
There's a book that will kill anyone you write his name into it.
And then when he dies, the spell is programmed to have the book disappear, and then you just wash your hands. You have no connection to it. You can just do your damage and leave. The corrupted lupines, aka the Black Spell Dancers. They bring them up by name in first edition, and they even have a connection with the Klasha in this regards, where sent into the BSD in regards to the Klasha, they'll just show them the visage of their dark god that contacted them, and then break the mind of the BSD they showed it to.
That was awesome.
And then what you want to do is you want to just put a murder carrot on a stick for these guys and just send them off into whatever group you need destroyed, and then they'll do it, and then the Guru Nation will come over and clean up your mess, and because the Guru are the Guru, they don't stick around and investigate usually, and once again, you dealt your damage, get out of there.
Yeah, the Guru aren't exactly known for their detective skills.
Or sometimes the Guru catch on to what you're doing and start coming over to you, start ruining your plans, attacking your cabals, your chantries. The Black Spell Dancers are the ones you want to get to solve this. The Nephandi don't do Guru shit. They don't bother with this kind of stuff. They know that the juice just isn't worth the squeeze with the werewolves. It's not worth the losses going into it. So just get the BSDs to handle it for you, or if a Malfian mage is just that determined to get the worm's favor, they'll stick around and do it. But an Infernalist or a Claw Shot, nah, they don't bother. They don't bother with that kind of shit.
Yeah, don't fuck with werewolves.
The Vampiric Infernalists, the guys who are on the paths that openly worship demons, aka the Path of Evil Revelations. These guys will do whatever you say if you're an Infernalist. Because after all, you're feeding their path, you're keeping their beast at bay. It will profit them to work with you. So hook, line, sinker, the contract might as well be signed already. Just this is somebody you can openly work with. In all irony, the Path of Evil Revelations fallen member of the Sabbat, or the secret Infernalist hidden within the Camarilla, or the Anarch that nobody paid attention to when they found the Book of Satan and started reading it.
Ah, fucking Anarchs.
You gotta love how horribly mismanaged the Anarchs are. That's why they're never gonna win this war.
Mismanaged? That implies that the Anarchs have any kind of management whatsoever.
And any kind of management to begin with. And they also mentioned the Bali by name, and they say that they follow this unnamed, unknowable antediluvian. Apparently, they did not know that Salat was the guy that made these guys. But it said if you come into contact with the Bali, you might as well consider them to be an ally of Nephandi already. You might as well consider them to be a Nephandi by this point. You basically are their boss. They'll do whatever you say already.
Best of friends.
Unless they're a Malachian Bali. In that case, they're your worst enemy. Because these are guys who are using the dark powers to counteract the dark powers. You don't want to work with these guys.
You're not supposed to do it like that.
If I had my own way with Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and I could have made that game whatever I wanted to, having the game start off as a vampire conflict would be how it started, but then it would eventually go into a mage conflict, and you play as a Bali for that entire game. That's how it would start off.
That would contain any more thought than Bloodlines 2 even had, though.
Oh, even what a fucking snooze fest Bloodlines 2 would be.
You made a game about vampires. Boring. How did you do that?
After we recorded that episode, I was only able to keep my eyes open for about 20 more minutes before I fell asleep.
Beats popping benzos, don't it?
It's one of those games that you fall asleep to. You heard about the ASMR videos? Well, here's an ASMR in game form.
Yeah, I call that No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I want to like this game, but God, it's so fucking boring.
You gotta be really into exploration, which is... I like No Man's Sky because of the whole exploration shit, but I know that there are some people that I could never recommend that game to.
I'm trying, but I've got a short attention span.
In regards to the Mafia Mages, the Fomori basically work for you already. Just go ahead and show them, I made a pact with the worm and I got the good deal, and then you got the shitty demon possession deal. Directly talk with the Bane, not the person, and this guy basically works for you already.
Let's be fair here. There are several Nephandi on Pentex's board of operations.
Oh, the entire fucking 7th generation was Mafia Mages.
Oh yeah.
By that point.
I remember when I first introduced Werewolf the Apocalypse to my main group, I pretty much had them go up against the 7th generation pawns and just like, how powerful are we? Well, here's an entire cult of child sex traffickers. Go nuts and figure that out yourself.
You wonder why nobody handles these guys already. It's because these guys have access to dark magic. Like Dragonwater is I'm forgetting what his ret score is, but he is a damn deadly Malfian. That's the reason why the 7th generation has gotten away with what they have.
Yeah, that's probably why they're still around as well. You can't really get rid of them if they have spherical magic.
When it gets crazy, your Guru gifts can get crazy, but you need to go through this whole rank and renown system to finally get your damn gift. And
for a mage, just go on a spirit quest, do peyote, do drugs, kill a bear.
Now in first edition, it was written before Demon of Fallen was made, so they say demons are your other ally in the Nephandi book. I guess in the context of Demon of Fallen, they would be referring to the Ravagers and the Earthbound specifically.
Yeah.
In that regard.
I don't really think the Redeemer ones are going to be all that popular with the Nephandi.
No.
Yeah.
And the Cryptics, I don't think they would have that much interest in humans. They need it for faith, but they don't necessarily need the humans for their end goal.
if anything, they'd keep them around, just like do all the busy work.
Next up would be the what's their name? The Luciferians. But
Yeah, I could probably see that.
they like to portray Lucifer as a good guy in their faction. So no, the Nephandi wouldn't really be on board with that. So that leaves only the Faustians left. And if you're an Infernalist Nephandi that made a pact with a Faustian for power, you are going to get screwed on that deal, and that Faustian is eventually going to kill you.
Pretty much.
The Faustians never make a deal that doesn't directly benefit them. That's
Speaking of Lucifer, do you think any Nephandi have met the guy in Los Angeles?
And they have,
like,
and he is nothing like they thought he was.
You're not exactly what I thought you'd be. I want to make this entire snuff film. We can't really market that. Let's make it a little more PG-13. Throw in a couple pop songs from the 80s and some. Let's get Chris Pratt started.
They tell you never meet your heroes. Don't ever do that.
I was just thinking that shit.
You worked all this time to raise through the ranks of Nephandi. You track down where the enemy himself is, and you talk with him. And he's a guy who's wearing rose-tinted glasses who talks about how much he loves humans. You're not the red guy with the big horns and the tail and the wings.
No, we don't do that no more. Not very marketable. Today I'm a producer.
That was Asmodeus, and he's dead now.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wait, where is Satan? Where is Satan then?
I
could have sworn he was.
That's what the Catholics call me. Sorry, that's not really my name.
Oh. You're not. I'm kind of sad now.
The Nephandi's paradigm then breaks, and he just become a sleeper again.
Now they just go back to being a hollow one.
I suppose that's the best possible scenario then for these guys.
Go from angry depression to just regular depression.
The best way to fight Nephandi, just introduce him to Lucifer and have him tell him what God actually was like.
Yeah.
And then just have the divine imbued solve the problem from there. And then we go into a technically 10th sphere of magic with the Nephandi. Quote unquote 10th sphere.
Oh.
It's not really a 10th sphere of magic. It's a sphere that already exists, but when the Nephandi do it, it comes out very differently. It is Kilpothic entropy that they have.
Orthamiel.
Where it is the entropy sphere, but instead of manipulating probability, it's more like you're just causing bad luck and chaos to happen within a specific area. And that's all this
That's just entropy with extra steps. They literally have a reversed entropy sphere. It's called Samael.
In the revised version, I'll go into what their thoughts on the individual spheres are. But in first edition, they had their own version of entropy. We never used an enemy stat block for these guys. The first level of entropy for them is Common Cause. The mode of perception basically allows Nephandi to recognize others of its kind and to know when the magical effect is being done in Nephandi's service. Easy. You can just ID your fellow Nephandis by sight. And say, oh, you hate people, I hate people. And then you do the secret Nephandi handshake with them.
I imagine it's rather obscene.
Yeah. Obscene, you just rub your dicks together or some shit.
No, you turn your fingers into dicks and you rub those
together. Level 2, the long arm of Murphy's Law. It's the only coincidental effect used in Nephandi. Well, it can be directly aimed at individual target to make jinx around them. It's more often directed at specific plans or endeavors of enemies in the Nephandi. Each success on the effect roll means that some minor condition or event is required for the plan to occur, such as a Akashic Brotherhood attempting to sneak past a guard dog demon, but they step on a twig instead, or they trip over a garbage can, or they just step on the dog. Just, the more successes you get, the worse the situation turns out to be with the spell. Easy, right?
Easy peasy.
You thought you were going to succeed on that spell, but no, as it turns out the Nephandi cast that spell earlier, and you were just screwed from the start. There was no way around this. Number 3, the Sleep of Reason. This effect causes a sentient being's psyche to fall completely under the sway of the dark side, or shadow. Virtues become intentions to sin, derangements surface with violent intense frenzies, and vampires and werewolves immediately freak the fuck out. The effect can be resisted with willpower, but like many mind effects, and you need to do a willpower roll, difficulty 8. Each success on your spell subtracts one success from the person making the willpower roll. Also, the mental dodge ability from Book of Shadows, that kind of shit as well. The madness will last as long as the effect's normal duration. Although it resembles the Mind Sphere's effect, the Sleep of Reason merely erodes the better half of control. It more attacks your conscience than your brain itself with the spell.
Now that sounds like the 10th sphere.
There we go. It's something crazy like that, right?
At first, it just seemed like it was just the entropy in the Mind Sphere with extra steps, but that sounds like the 10th sphere. Charlie, do you know what the 10th sphere is?
Friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's quite literally the sphere of morality.
As it turns out, Twilight Sparkle was the one who had it understood all along.
Twilight Sparkle's consensus is the most in line with reality, apparently. Go figure.
Level 4, the Inheritance of the Flesh. This effect not only withers life, but covers the victim with boils and pustules which, when they burst, spray corrosive pus on everything around it. Anyone within arm's reach of the victim takes 1 level of health damage for every success Nephandi scored on that roll. This damage is aggravated, but it may be soaked. If that victim takes more than 4 levels of health and damage, he becomes too infected and is just a dead man walking by that point.
That just sounds like the life sphere with extra steps. Do the Nephandi even have anything original in their repertoire?
Well, we got one more spell, Obliteration.
Oh, really?
This effect is the only known way to make matter or energy completely disappear from existence. Obliteration does its damage like a direct entropic attack. If the subject is destroyed by that damage, it ceases to exist forever. No kind of spell can bring it back. This damage is aggravated, but could be soaked. Such a powerful effect can only be used against one target at a time, but the normal effect modifiers are based upon the successes. They no longer apply in that roll. Side effects include ripping open the gauntlet to the Umbra, the Dreaming, or the Shadowlands, and sometimes the Nephandis as well, in a massive paradox explosion that destroys everything in the vicinity when that happens. This magic does not work, fortunately, against the horizon itself. In the Deep Umbra, where no paradox exists, and monsters of compulsive energy are horrifically powerful and can basically one-shot wherever the fuck they come across. Amazing.
Okay, that sounds pretty powerful.
If you do not roll above the Nephandi in initiative order, you die.
If he has like 5 in Arete, then that's it. You better hope you're faster. You better be the quickest draw in the West, son, because if he gets his shot off, that's it for you.
That's how most Mage fights go, because the Mage Ascension, it's not the anime fight game. That's Changeling and Dreaming. In Mage, you just cast a spell, and whoever got the first shot wins. In most Mage battles. Until fucking wards and time travel and save states get involved.
Absolutely. Then it just becomes like a reality clusterfuck.
And then you get a few examples of evil patrons to make deals with at the back of the Nephandi First Edition book. Not Nephandi First Edition. Book of Madness at the end of the first chapter. What the fuck was I talking about for a minute? You get Alice Swad, the Black Man. No, that's just why it's called the Black Man. Where...
What?
Yeah, this is what they call him. Alice Swad is believed to have been the first Nephandis and was the first descendant of Kelpoth of Entropy. He is known in human lore as the Black Man, who is said to preside over satanic ceremonies, witch sabbats, and the like. In his capacity, he carries a large book containing the names of those he has consigned the souls to. He is your middleman between the devil and yourself. And you can just sign a contract directly with him, and he will give you your power.
Oh, he's basically the shoulder devil.
He is, yes. We also have Malik Hajrak, the Master of Mayhem, who is a Melgen Incarna who is not in the Book of the Worm, other edition, but he is the Melgen Incarna of riots, spontaneous brawls, gang warfare, and playground free-for-alls that go into someone getting seriously hurt.
Oh. I imagine he's quite powerful in the modern knights.
Oh, just spontaneous violence is what he oversees. He doesn't even have a stat block. He's so damn strong. But
I can imagine so.
then we have, God help me with this name, Adschlaklaga, the crawler at the pit of the end of the world. Do we have any information on this guy? No. No.
Yeah, he's probably one of those Call of Cthulhu ones.
But he has a stat block. He can be killed, but not permanently.
Oh.
Okay, this
You
is...
never... You don't stat them. They'll kill them.
This is what? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 levels of health. And when he dies, he explodes into street slag.
What?
Yeah, you just get slagged when he explodes.
Like molten metal slagged, or
Like, yeah, and salt. And that's what he just gets splooged with.
that is horrendous, but quite apt for the Nephandi.
And yeah, there's a whole section in here too saying, like what we said before about Nephandi player characters. The book said, don't
Don't
do
it.
don't do it.
You think you can, but you can't.
It's the same reason why. Well, I forgot what the Chaos Marine tabletop game was. The role playing game was Black Crusade.
Black Crusade?
It's the reason why those games never last more than one session.
Yeah. Maybe it was like to set up villains. I could probably see it, but it's not going to be a long-term campaign when you know that the main goal of the Nephandi is to die and bring as many people with them.
Yeah, I was in a Warhammer Fantasy Chaos game, and the fucking players in it, 2 of them picked Khorne, and both of them decided halfway through the game that the skull throne needed skulls, and just TPK'd the entire party without the storyteller stopping them. And that was the end of that.
Gosh, I can't imagine why evil campaigns don't exactly last long.
Great, thank you for wasting my fucking time. I was having fun playing as Nurgle. But no. And what else is there? Shall we go over their perspective on the individual spheres of magic?
Absolutely.
This is on page 34 of the revised version. We're done with the first edition information now.
Oops, I'm a little too far ahead.
Let's see. The evil correspondence.
Yeah, the Clepothic spheres.
Which are exactly the same as the normal spheres, they just have a Q in front of them now.
Yeah. So, Johnny, you know how the regular spheres work, right?
Yes.
You manipulate the tapestry to, let's say, for correspondence. You basically just sew 2 pieces of the tapestry together and you just shorten the distance.
Yes.
What do you think the Clepothic version of the correspondence would be doing?
I'm imagining something along the lines of the door you pop out of being like somebody's body, where you just burst out their chest.
Or maybe it leaves corruption and taint. Or perhaps it leaves a permanent doorway into the atrocity realm, and that starts leaking out into the Tellurian.
You leave a little time rift behind with your teleportation.
You leave a smidgen of damage that just gets worse. It's like an infection in space.
You just cause this. You just deal your damage and leave.
Yeah.
Let's play with the Nephandi. You don't fight. You don't stick around to fight with the Nephandi. You just get out of there.
Yeah. Basically, their exit strategy will leave something damaged. And Clepothic entropy.
Where
now
the usual entropy, not the special version.
Oh, the usual entropy is it's breaking things down into their baser stats. Like, you take 4 cubes and they turns those 4 into like 4 smaller cubes.
Yes.
Clepothic entropy is just breaking things down until there's nothing left to break down.
Reducing everything down to its atomic structure.
Yes. We're talking not down to 1/4. We're talking 1 into 0.
It is cast a spell on you enough times and you just eventually get atomized.
Yeah.
The Thanos
vanish.
The Thanos snap.
Indeed. the Clepothic entropy is literally the Thanos snap.
With that, you are gone. Get felted.
Nothing will come back.
No.
There is no pass and go. Do not collect $200. You are just gone.
If you are Devin Cavendish, you use this to cheat at cards and win all the time.
Yeah. And you make everyone lose horribly.
Well, behold, as I steal all of your money.
Clepothic forces.
Like hellfire, black lightning.
Basically, regular forces is just like physics, the magic sphere.
Yes.
If up is down and down is up. For Clepothics, it's basically that, but it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like radiation. You can do that with regular forces, but this is like the super shit. Cocaine-infused radiation.
Oh, yeah. That kind of gives you the third hand that grows out of your chest and slaps you in the face.
Imagine what would happen if gravity just stopped working in an area. I'm not talking like everyone just starts flying up. Like, if in one specific part of the world, it'd be as if the Earth stopped rotating.
And everything would just fly off the ground and into space.
Indeed. That's kind of what you get with this sort of stuff, but it's also a lot. But like you said, hellfire, corruption, just breaking physics.
You use a forces spell to rapidly increase the density of one option to the point where it goes super critical.
Everyone thinks that's correspondence. No, forces can make black holes as well.
It's straight gravity.
Life. We both know life is a little OP. It's been the only thing keeping the Verbena alive.
You then use this to become the portrait of your demon daddy.
You start becoming things from the SCP files.
I imagine this is very fun in the hands of the Clawshaw.
Probably.
Where you just go ahead, just do your spell, just cast a little spell on yourself, and all of a sudden you just your arms become 10 arms, and all those arms become tentacles with blades at the end.
Yeah. We joke about the Tzimisce wishing they had Life Sphere. The Tzimisce wish they had the Clepothic Life Sphere. Because that's what
shit.
This is like creating the abominations of the Tzimisce's wildest fantasies.
Oh, absolutely. You turn your bones into adamantium metal with this.
And you don't even need all the biomass. You can just create the biomass with Prime.
That's all you need. As long as you're staying over the node, you just have this magical energy that you can just use to make stuff.
Yeah. Clepothic matter.
Yes.
Now, matter as a sphere, also pretty OP.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you have, like, 1 or 2 points into matter, you're set for life.
It's like the Green Lantern, and how underutilized the powers of the Green Lantern are.
Now, what do you think would happen if you turn that on its head and you made it Clepothic matter?
Imagine
you can already create
like Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit. You just have an anvil appear over my head and then smash me to death with it.
Oh, come on, Johnny. That's kindergarten shit. I'm talking like swords that are made of matter so insanely evil that even being cut by it is like a death sentence. Bullets that will kill the unkillable, like specifically made to kill angels and gods.
Mm-hmm. Just pure destructive matter. Where just
matter that doesn't exist, but it comes into existence. Like, think of it like Wraithbone for the Eldar, but it's in the hands of the Chaos Gods.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. Clepothic Mind Sphere.
You become an NPC.
You can make... No, that's basic stuff, Johnny. You can do that with the regular Mind Sphere. The Clepothic Mind Sphere, giving people Alzheimer's. Giving them new kinds of mental diseases, mental degradations. Forget becoming an NPC. This will turn you into a feral beast.
It's just
like,
it's just
you remember that movie, The Kingsman?
I was about to say Weapons.
What, Weapons?
Yeah, the movie that came out this year, Weapons.
I have not seen that one.
I cannot tell you about it because I don't want to spoil the twist for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take your word on that.
It's a very good movie. Very good.
All right. So, mind, you pretty much tear down people's minds and just, like, destroy them. They just become vegetables.
Mm.
It's like, do you know the Sith have this ability where they can just forget the Jedi mind trick? They will extract the knowledge from you.
Yes, you will lead us to the holocron.
Yeah. I am not exactly asking you to lead us to the holocron.
And if not, they just completely wipe your brain and then turn you into their puppet.
Effectively. Clepothic Prime.
You draw power from evil itself, I'm guessing.
Quintessence as a whole is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on its own, it's kind of okay, but when you start mixing it with other stuff, that's where Prime comes in. But that's the good stuff. The bad stuff is, what do you think Dark Quintessence is like?
You get sin in literal solid or liquid form.
Yeah. Imagine what liquid physical sin would look like. Not even like bubbling black ooze, or it's literally unknowable. This is probably something the Clepothic Nephandi kind of love a bit.
If you pour it across your skin, it just lacerates whatever you poured it on.
Even that, it probably just turns it into something horrendous.
Oh,
yeah. Clepothic spirits.
Uh,
This is probably what you're going to be using to, like, talk to the Bane spirits.
Yeah, worm shit.
Yeah. Or turning wild and Weaver spirits into Bane spirits.
You have a direct door between Malpheus in the real world or to the Atrocity Realm.
Yeah. Effectively.
You just get to go into Atrocity Realm, train in the snuff film dimension, and then just come right back to reality.
Or you go up to a city father or mother, corrupt him with Clepothic spirit, and suddenly a Bane spirit is now the soul of an entire city.
That explains why Charlotte sucks so much right now.
Charlottesville, Detroit, Portland, Oregon.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Name a Middle Eastern country.
Toronto, Canada.
Yes,
yeah.
All of Canada.
Oh my gosh. Fucking Winnipeg.
Clepothic time. Johnny, do you know what you can do with the Time Sphere vanilla version?
It's time to be evil, yes.
Yeah, it's going back in time, going forward in time, slowing time down, speeding it up. Clepothic time? Creating paradoxes. Timelines that both exist and don't exist at the same time. Going to alternate timelines that are much worse than what we're having now.
It's almost impossible to cast a time spell without it causing paradox. But I don't think the Nephandi are too concerned with that.
I don't think they care.
It feels like
I don't think they care at all.
It feels like with a time spell, you're going to set up a situation where it's going to result in the death of the Nephandi, but they're going to cause a lot of destruction before that happens.
This is the time sphere that you give to your pawns, so they will get the paradox.
It's the same as just running into of being the sapper in a fantasy setting. You run up with the bomb and blow up the fortress, and you died, but your team is going to win because of all the damage you caused. There's nothing.
And that's kind of what the Clepothic spheres are. They're meant to do as much damage as physically, spiritually, mentally, cosmologically possible.
And with those spheres, you then use that to create the labyrinth, right?
Yeah, that's what Spirit and Prime is for. You create labyrinths. You bring people down, use mind, you torture them to the point of them breaking, and they either accept what you're selling them, or they die.
In case you're wondering why the traditionalists haven't killed these guys already, it's because every single one of their realms is a damn maze by design.
Yeah, that's why they call them labyrinths. You think they're just gonna make a front door you can just go into their chantries? Fuck no. That's easy.
It's either the 9 layers of hell or the 666 layers of hell with the Infernalist. Malpheus itself and the black, I forget about the Labyrinth Obscura with the Malphians, or just the abstract geometries of the Clawshaw.
I imagine they go to the actual labyrinth in Malpheus and look at the place and go, oh, this decor. I gotta do this for my place. This is wonderful.
You just copy with the worm's best, worst creation.
Yeah, exactly.
Little do they know, if you reach the bottom of that labyrinth, you get a prize.
We're not gonna tell you what it is, but it's super fun.
Yeah. And a lot of these have formed since 1945. A lot of Nephandi have dipped from the material plane to make realms for themselves, because by this point they've done the damage they've done already. They're not at the point of ascension. They're on the cusp of winning, the same as the Tenocracy, but they're waiting for humanity to just give them the win, is the plan.
Yeah. They don't have to do anything. Humanity is already doing it for them. And the Technocracy are helping.
So they just need to sit back and just wait for the mutually assured destruction to happen. And that's it. That's all you
Why
gotta do
push the button yourself when someone else is going to push for you? You don't gotta get up from your seat and away from your snacks.
You compare these guys in terms of an antagonist's agency. A Black Spiral Dancer, a Sabbat Vampire, a Unseelie or Shadow Changeling is a very active, proactive antagonist, always doing the work themselves. Yeah. The Nephandi is very passive.
Yeah.
Is,
well, most of them are. I'm sure there's a couple proactive Nephandi out there, but they don't exactly live long.
Those would be the Shaitans and the Pawns. But with the administration and all of them above, they already have the dominoes in place. They just need to just sit and wait for either the specific time to initiate the plan, or for someone else to initiate the plan for them, and they just need to watch.
Exactly.
It's just that easy.
Now, is there anything else you would like to go over with the Nephandi, Johnny?
With the Nephandi, do you have an idea?
I have, technically, Johnny. If you were to introduce Nephandi into any campaign, what would you make?
I would immediately go for which splats I was going for. Usually when I do games, it's Werewolf, Vampire, and Hunter that I run. And now I'm getting very interested in Wraith. I probably would not do it in Wraith because I want the Wraith stories to be self-contained. I usually like it when I mix splats, but I feel like Wraith is at its strongest when it's just Wraith by itself. But with Vampire, Infernalism, of course, going down that kind of route.
Obviously.
Where you have either a straight-up evil Baali that worships demons and is trying to get his sacrifices, or you go with a mistaken villain where it's a Malachian who is trying to fix the mistake, and then after you kill them, the Infernalist Nephandi that was pulling the strings then reveals himself.
I would probably introduce like a couple clues as to this sort of strange benefactor, someone who would probably just like someone in the background. Like you can't just like reveal this guy who's like, "Ha I'm the villain the whole time," and you have your character go, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Exactly.
I'm the one pulling the strings the whole time.
If I were to do Werewolf, I wouldn't want to do a Malfian. I feel like if you want to do worm shit, just use the Fomori or the Black Spiral Dancers. I would use the Clawshaw in a werewolf game.
Oh yeah.
Where you thought the werewolves had under control, you thought that, we're going to fight Guy and defeat the presence of the worm, and that the worm is in a losing state now, we've finally beaten the worm back, and then you get introduced to your first encounter with an outsider.
Yeah. I would honestly introduce the Klapothic Nephandi, because werewolves versus Call of Cthulhu, that would be awesome.
Absolutely, where you figure out there's something worse than the worm out there, or the Actina do their contingency plan for stopping apocalypse, and it summons an outsider.
Maybe the Uktena looking to each other is like, maybe we should get the crackers in to help us with this.
Yeah, exactly. Their plan worked. You fought back the worm, but now we have another issue that needs to be solved today. And if I was doing straight Mage, because I feel like Mage is at its strongest when it's a triumph of the human will kind of story, it's you took initiative and you changed the world the way you wanted to see it be changed. I would use the Malfians for that story, because the Malfians, don't do that. They forgo them. They give up their own ambitions to send themselves over to a higher power, and that power is always something negative, rot, despair, anger, avarice. But even not even their own avarice, the avarice of something bigger than them.
All right.
And
Now, here's a question for you.
yes,
Would they be originally a traditionalist or a technocrat?
I would go Winter Slaint with these guys.
Oh, just be born bad?
I would have it be a dark reflection of the protagonist because I would want to be. I like it when my mage protagonist that these are guys that came to their own conclusions about ascension and decided for themselves they wanted to ascend. And the Winter Slaint is the same, had the same beginning, but went down a different path. That idea.
That would be kind of cool, not gonna lie.
Where the kind of villains where you encounter them and this is a reflection of what you could have been are typically my favorite kinds.
Yeah, the whole Batman angle. I can understand why it's popular.
Where that's why I did it with Disco by Night in regards to we did our episode with Dan not too long ago when he was talking about his character Matthias Clay. That's what Candy was, because Candy was a guy who had the success that Clay had, but his wasn't earned. He just had it from the get-go, and he was meant to be this dark reflection kind of character who didn't show up until the end after Clay started losing everything that he gained. That kind of thematic villain.
Oh, the one that just ruins your life.
Exactly that kind who's made to be the final nail in your last stand.
Yeah. It was me, Barry.
Yeah.
I'm the one who jerked you off when you went on your date.
And
oh, Eobard Thawne would make an amazing Nephandi.
forgive me but to me you have been dead for centuries. That whole bit at the end. There's also a whole section in here about infernalism in the revised book.
Yeah, that's basically just Nephandi, but again, it's specifically just the Infernalist Nephandi, but just for themselves.
Yeah, what happens when one of your traditionalists loses the plot, and it goes into more detail about that.
Yeah.
Not
bad stuff, though.
Yeah, it's not as crazy and detail filled as you would think it would be, viewer.
Sorry.
Yep. And with the Bettini fall into the fucking Nephandi.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If not, they'd be pawns. Very, very good pawns.
Oh, you think it'll be easy for Bettini to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, given how prickly.
Wait, the Bettini? You mean the Ali Bettine?
Yes.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was thinking Bali. My brain is mush right now.
No, the Bettini, the guys who used to have. Was it matter or was it correspondence before the Sons of
The
Evil?
Ali Bettine used to be correspondence before the virtual adepts came in.
And then they quit because it kept butting heads with the traditionalist.
Yeah.
It's the Bettini paradigm still doesn't quite make sense to me.
I've actually still got to go through the Ali Bettine, and I like the 9 traditions, but the Disparate Alliance is something I've yet to dig into deeply.
The Solificati, I could immediately see where they were coming from, and I like the idea that they had. But I need somebody to just sit me down and explain to me what the Bettini are before I talk about them on the show.
I might actually go through the stuff and look through it just so I can get like an understanding of it, because the Ali Bettine is something I'm kind of interested in. Like, you have these Arabian Night mages that teleport all over the place. Like, hell yeah, sign me up. And then I discovered that the City of Brass is a thing in Mage Ascension. Like, oh, I can do so much with that.
Yeah, it's not just a D&D idea, it's also in this game too.
Yeah. Except it's on Mercury.
Take a look, see here. Fuck is the Umbrood?
The Umbrood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the beings of evil that just came out of Malphite itself, and Umbra itself.
Yeah, that's basically what the mages call the spirits in the Umbra.
Oh, we've already talked about these guys by another name. It's essentially Banes.
Yeah.
It's just basically Banes by another name.
Worm spirits, Banes, Fomori. You pretty much know what you're getting into when you use the sphere magic as a Nephandi.
The people that wrote Mage the Ascension hated werewolf and wanted to do their best to fucking strangle it.
And then Demon the Fallen came in and did the same thing to Mage.
Do unto others as they have done to you. What comes around goes around, Mage.
Now, who's going to be the one to do that? It's Demon the Fallen.
Even fallen. Well, it did to itself. Nobody bought it because they were going out of business at the time.
Oops.
Yep. And Demon of Fallen has a really bad reputation amongst World of Darkness. It's just as bad as Wraith the Oblivion. Well, no. Wraith the Oblivion has no players. Demon of Fallen still has players.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm running a Wraith game. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
really digging Wraith the Oblivion. It fucking sucks that Wraith was never given the attention I felt deserved.
I'm trying my damnedest to make this thing work. I'm still thinking like action adventure RPG. No, this is psychological horror and social RPG action.
Because Wraith the Oblivion is fucking Kino, but nobody wants to play it because of the whole reputation it has and just how alienating of a premise it is. And then it turns out the whole thing was made just to get Colonel Houses of Europe written.
I mean, when you have a game that has a nickname as Depression the Role-Playing Game, do you really want to play that? Do you think Depression the Role-Playing Game is going to get a lot of attention?
I swear to you, we could have been living in a different timeline where Wraith was made after Silent Hill came out.
Wrong time, wrong place, just like Vampire the Kindred TV show.
If you just waited a few years, I swear to you, White Wolf went down the same reason why Telltale Games went down. You spent way too much money, way too quickly, way too fast.
I'm pretty sure Telltale Games is still around, just like dormant.
Just like selling residuals for the corporate figureheads.
Yeah. Also, I'm still waiting for my Wolf Among Us 2, you bastards. Release the game.
It is. I'd rather just see what they have by this point. It's the same with Bloodlines 2. Like, whatever you had before you start changing developers, if you just released that, even if it was in an unfinished state, it would have been better than what we got with the Chinese room.
If there's anything I hate, it's wasted potential.
I would have been okay with a broken Bloodlines 2 that would have been fixed with updates, because that was Cyberpunk 2077. And if you didn't have internet connection to update Cyberpunk 2077, you got fucking scammed with that game. But now in 2025, Cyberpunk 2077 is fucking awesome. That is a fantastic game.
They pulled a No Man's Sky.
It is. It's a really good game. It's got all this good content. The DLC on it was fucking awesome. Definitely worth getting.
Let's hope that they do the same thing with Vampire the Masquerade 2. I doubt they will. Considering
I think I said it before. I think I said it before in the show. I wish we were living in a time where CD Projekt Red got the rights to Vampire instead.
If only, but we'll see who gets the license next time when Renegade Games loses it. Maybe then they'll focus on the Transformer RP and release more goddamn books.
Maybe the Saudi Arabian government will buy Vampire.
Maybe. I don't know if they'll. I don't know if they'll keep the Banu Hakim around, but
what all do they have? Like fucking doesn't like Saudi Arabia own the PGA at this point?
Maybe.
I'm typing this in.
EA.
Does Saudi Arabia own the PGA? No, but a landmark deal was announced in June 2023 where the Saudi Public Investment Fund agreed to invest and merge its rival LIV Golf and the PGA. So, yes and no. Well, yes, but actually no was the answer.
Well, yes, but actually no.
And then they were doing all the shit with the UFC and WWE, and now they bought Electronic Arts.
Which should have happened a long time ago, but this is a long time coming, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is. It fucking comes around and goes around.
Yeah. If you know EA's history, this is being bought by Saudi Arabia was rightfully deserved.
The only reason why people like Stellar Blade is because of just the bullshit we've been getting for years by this point. Stellar Blade is a game that is really mid, but because of the shit that's come out in recent years, that's why people treat Stellar Blade like it's the best game ever made.
You mean that there's a mid-game where the female protagonist isn't a 600-pound land whale with a septum ring? Sign me up! Take my money!
That's the reason. That's the only reason why Stellar Blade did as well as it did.
God, it's been 2 hours in, and I've never been told that patriarchy is the bad guy and capitalism is bad.
The only people that asked for shit like Forspoken and what was it, Dustborn was its name?
Oh my god.
The only people that asked for that were corporate figureheads that don't buy these products.
Or were, in some cases like Dustborn, were propaganda produced by, was it Canada?
Yeah, like fucking Sweet Baby Ink and all that shit.
Yeah, there's your Nephandi connection to the real world. The Nephandi are putting out sort of fucking
that's what
ESG
happens.
games.
That's what happens when the Nephandi infiltrate the syndicate.
Yeah.
Well,
they start producing all your shitty social justice warrior games.
We're going to
like
make
Concord.
we're going to make a very expensive product that will cause you to lose money.
We're gonna make you pay $400 million for a hero shooter in the midst of where there's been a shit ton of hero shooters, and everyone will play it. What do you mean it was shut down in 2 weeks?
Fucking Concord. Are you talking about Concord or are you talking about Battleborn?
Concord. I'm pretty sure Battleborn still has players.
It did, but you would be in a lobby of 6 people, and that's how many live people are playing that game.
Hey, at least people still have players for Battleborn, unlike Concord.
And what was it, Battleborn? You can still do the player versus enemy modes in it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That was a game that was a good game, was a good idea, but because it was cynically made to compete with Overwatch 2, that's why it failed.
Yeah. And then Overwatch 2 was ruined by a bunch of role players, and let's be fair, Bethesda and Blizzard. No, Blizzard. What the fuck am I talking Bethesda for?
Activision.
I'm fucking retarded. Activision Blizzard. I am retarded.
And speaking of video games of World of Darkness, they could never make a Mage game.
It is impossible to make a Mage game video game. You are basically pushing a boulder uphill with how creative you have to be for Mage.
It's that you're thinking, oh, what about the whole Harry Potter game that came out? What was it, last year? No, that's not even the surface of Mage the Ascension.
Compared to Mage the Ascension and Harry Potter is basically a game of sorcerer.
It's what the fuck am I thinking? The only Mage game I could think of, and it's mundane magic, would be what came out this year. Blueprints is the only game I could think of.
You would have to have like a set character and a pretty firm grasp of the things you can and can't do. Like it would be very context sensitive heavy game.
Oh, and even then the game could wildly change and be different depending on what convention you were, what tradition you were.
Yeah. You would have to have the creative focus of, I would say, Platinum Games and the open world insanity of Bethesda, and I guess a smidgen of CD Projekt Red.
Yes.
It's fun to fantasize about, but let's be honest, it's never going to happen.
Because a Euthanatos game would be completely different than a Virtual Adapt game. Completely
Pretty
different.
much. If you would have to have different games for every tradition.
By this point, yes. And then the fucking Bettini come into play.
Yeah.
I think the only way you could get that to work is if you made a Technocrat game.
Probably.
But the best Technocracy game already exists, and it's called Deus Ex. This has already been made.
actually, I could see a Mage the Ascension game as like Deus, like an XCOM game where you have various characters from various traditions.
Trying to what was it? They had a game like that. It was like XCOM Bureau of something, or like black. Yeah. And the cover of it had a bunch of black Sharpies scribbled on it to censor out the text.
Yeah, good luck making Mage the Ascension as an RPG, though. That is a battle you are not going to win.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It will not happen. Not in this lifetime.
It'll be one of those RPGs where you're supposed to break the system of the turn-based RPG system and find a way around it.
I'm thinking more like something along the lines of Fallout and Skyrim.
Where you go into the menus, you move your cursor down to other parts of the UI that aren't supposed to be there. And you use that for different turns.
Something like that will never be made in our lifetime. It's sad, but we still have the tabletop. Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, you still have that. Mage is the Ascension is one of those games where it benefits from being a tabletop. You could not do it any other way.
You cannot.
You can't. You can't. Same with making a changeling game. It's going to be very difficult to make a changeling game.
Absolutely.
And there we go. That's an episode. We're done.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, don't play the Nephandi.
Don't play the Nephandi. Put them in your games as villains if you want a jet black, evil as shit character. But yeah, don't do it.
Do not play the Nephandi.
Do not do it.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
All right. And yeah, happy Halloween. Does we get to talk about the Satan for the Halloween?
Yeah.
All right. There it is. All right, GN.